Calaroga Shark Media.
From Washington, D.C., where the depths of Donald Trump's ever-changing loyalties balance the heights of Joe Biden's trolling prowess, this is Ballot.
Today, we've got quite the smorgasbord of stories for you. First up, we'll explore Joe Biden's newfound hobby of trolling Donald Trump, from mocking his hair to poking fun at his courtroom naps. Then, we'll delve into Trump's secret plan to take over the Federal Reserve if he wins in 2024, because apparently, he thinks he's the only one qualified to steer the nation's monetary policy. And of course, we can't forget about Trump's sudden change of heart regarding RFK Jr., who has gone from MAGA hero to Democrat plant faster than you can say flip-flop. It looks like President Biden has found a new hobby, trolling Donald Trump. And I've got to say, he's not holding back. From mocking Trump's hairstyle to poking fun at his energy levels in court, Biden is hitting the former president where it hurts. But it's not just personal jabs. Biden is also using policy arguments to get under Trump's skin, reminding everyone of the former president's questionable track record on issues like abortion, the pandemic, and the economy. It's like Biden is saying, hey, remember when you were in charge and everything was a dumpster fire? Good times. Of course, Biden and his team are being careful not to talk too much about Trump's legal troubles directly. They don't want to be seen as interfering or influencing the proceedings. Instead, they're just casually mentioning how busy Biden is with his own campaign. You know, as one does when their opponent is stuck in a courtroom. And let's not forget the split-screen moments. As Trump sits in court, Biden's team is making sure everyone knows what their boss is up to. Traveling on Air Force One, meeting with donors, and definitely not falling asleep during important conversations. It's a not-so-subtle way of saying, look at me, I'm the president, and I'm actually doing my job. Let's take a moment to appreciate the art of the political jab. First up, we have the classic hair and energy combo. Biden's been poking fun at Trump's infamous coif and his apparent lack of stamina in the courtroom. It's like he's saying, hey Donald, maybe if you spent less time on your hair and more time on your legal defense, you wouldn't be dozing off in court. But Biden's not just going for the low-hanging fruit. He's also taking aim at Trump's policy failures. Abortion, pandemic response, the economy. Biden's like, remember when you dropped the ball on pretty much everything? Yeah, I do. Don't forget the, I'm too busy to watch your trial jab. Biden's out there telling donors, sorry folks, I can't catch the latest episode of Trump in court. I've got a country to run. It's the presidential equivalent of, I can't hang out, I have to wash my hair. But perhaps the most brutal jab of all? The imaginary conversation with a defeated-looking Trump. Biden's over here telling stories about how he had to turn down Trump's plea for help with his crushing debt. Ouch. That's gotta sting. But here's the thing. While Biden may be enjoying his new role as Trump's chief troll, it's not all smooth sailing. The president has had his fair share of gaffes and missteps, like repeating debunked claims about driving an 18-wheeler or accidentally reading teleprompter instructions out loud. It's almost like he's trying to remind us that he's not perfect either. It seems Donald Trump has a secret plan up his sleeve if he wins the 2024 election. And no, it's not just another scheme to build a wall or make Mexico pay for it. This time, he's got his sights set on the Federal Reserve. According to reports, Trump's aides have drawn up a 10-page document outlining a new vision for the central bank. And by new vision, they apparently mean, let's let Trump set interest rates himself. That's right. The man who once said the Fed had no guts, no sense, no vision, now wants to be the one calling the shots. The plan also includes the authority to give Jerome Powell, the current Fed chairman, the boot. You know, the same Jerome Powell that Trump himself appointed during his first term. I guess when you're Donald Trump, loyalty only goes so far. Surely this is just a joke, right? No president would actually try to take control of the Fed and set interest rates themselves. Well, think again. Trump supporters are apparently dead serious about this plan, and they want to make it a reality if he wins in 2024. But hey, what could possibly go wrong with letting a guy who's filed for bankruptcy 6 times take control of the nation's monetary policy? All joking aside, this plan is a recipe for disaster. The independence of the Federal Reserve is a cornerstone of our modern financial system, and undermining it could have serious consequences. As one economist put it, if Trump lets inflation rip, it is likely to be his own supporters that will be most hurt. Oh, how the tables have turned. It seems like former President Donald Trump has had a change of heart about his new BFF, independent presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. After weeks of singing Kennedy's praises and touting him as a great service to America, Trump has suddenly decided that RFK Jr. is nothing more than a Democrat plant designed to help crooked Joe Biden win re-election. In a series of posts on his beloved Truth Social platform, Trump went on a tirade against Kennedy, suggesting that he's a radical left liberal who's been put in place to sabotage the MAGA movement. Because apparently, in Trump's world, anyone who doesn't pledge their undying loyalty to him is automatically a secret agent for the Democrats. But wait, it gets better. Trump even took a swipe at Kennedy's running mate, Nicole Shanahan, claiming that she's not a serious candidate. I guess in Trump's mind, the only serious candidates are the ones who agree with everything he says and do whatever he tells them to do. Now let's take a trip down memory lane, shall we? Just last month, Trump was singing a very different tune about RFK Jr. He was practically giddy at the thought of Kennedy siphoning votes away from Biden, calling his campaign great for MAGA and a great service to America. But now that recent polls are showing that Kennedy's campaign might actually hurt Trump's chances of returning to the White House, suddenly, he's public enemy number one. It's almost like Trump's opinions change with the wind, or more accurately, with whatever he thinks will benefit him the most at any given moment. One minute, Kennedy is a hero for taking on the crooked Joe Biden machine. The next, he's a radical leftist plant designed to destroy the MAGA movement from within. But here's the real kicker. Trump actually suggested that he would take Biden over Kennedy. That's right. The man who has spent the last 4 years railing against Sleepy Joe and calling him the worst president in the history of the United States is now saying he'd rather have him in the White House than RFK Jr. It's like we've entered some bizarre alternate universe where up is down, left is right, and Donald Trump is suddenly the voice of reason. So what's the moral of this story? Well, it's pretty simple, really. In the world of Donald Trump, loyalty is a one-way street. You're either with him 100% or you're against him. And if you're against him, you'd better watch out, because he'll come after you with all the subtlety of a bulldozer in a china shop. But hey, at least we can all take comfort in the fact that the 2024 presidential race is shaping up to be just as ridiculous and unpredictable as ever. With Trump flip-flopping on his opinions faster than a fish out of water, and Kennedy throwing a wrench into everyone's carefully laid plans, it's anyone's guess who will come out on top. But one thing's for sure, it's going to be one hell of a ride. And that's good for me, because I host this podcast. Portions of this podcast may have been created with the help of AI, and AI is polling higher than Nikki Haley did.